Hello everybody and welcome back to Odin's movie vlog. I am the critic who is a cynic. I hope you're doing well, and today there's actually a few different stories that I could be talking about. I could be talking about how movie theaters are trying to really start the ball rolling all across the world to try and get things at least a soft open right now, with possibly even more theaters opening up by June and July, so that way at the very least Tenet, which is still on a pace at this point in time to be released mid-July, would finally get its official release date, and we'd finally get a new movie released in the past couple of months, which has just been fantastic. But of course, there's a lot of things that are up in the air with that. But then I came across this story from Bounding to Comics, and it just made me smile because it just made me realize how many actors there are in Hollywood that are not major stars, but honestly have a better grip on reality and honestly have a better grip on their industry in general, to the point where it's very refreshing to see things like this happen. So we're going to talk about a man named Lee Arenberg from Pirates of the Caribbean. There is his image right there, so you probably recognize him if you've ever seen the Pirates of the Caribbean films. Personally loved his character. Thought he did a very good job. Again, definitely the character actor, definitely a supporting character, but supporting characters are important too. There's always that old adage from the theater, there are no small roles, and that is very, very true, not just in theater, but also in movies as well. It's usually those supporting characters and those smaller roles that end up keeping the film going forward and really just hold the film up and help to support it. And he says this, and I think this is very important, especially for modern day Hollywood. He says, "The garbage man is more important than the movie star." I just have to clap for you, sir, because I don't think there's a lot of people in Hollywood that would say that. Now, one could argue, oh, well, there've been big stars that have said something similar to this effect, but then you look to how they live their lives, and then you look to all the nonsense that they spout. You look to all the political nonsense that they spout, and how they try and push political agendas by using their position of power and essentially authority as a movie star. And so you hear the words they say, and you're like, yeah, you're just, you're basically just double speaking here. You're really not being authentic in your approach. It really takes you going to people that are, people that are established in the industry, people who have been in various films, have had careers, but maybe not the biggest stars, maybe the people that have been more in the background in their films, I think, to really have those people where they're making money, but also I think they're making enough to be able to still have one leg in the real world so that they can step back for a second and say, no, this is actually true. This is not just me as a movie star saying, oh yeah, things are so hard right now, and oh yeah, let me just talk about how great this person is. Like, to me, it just comes off as more authentic coming from someone like this than compared to I don't know, like a Tom Hanks, for instance. Like, again, Tom Hanks, I think, does a lot of really cool things, but at the same time, too, he is a gigantic billionaire at this point in time, at least a millionaire. Again, I really don't know his net worth, but definitely worth a lot of cheddar, if you know what I mean. Let's go ahead and dive into this article here. Pirates of the Caribbean star Lee Arenberg recently explained how the garbage man is more important than the movie star. In an interview with YouTube channel Kendall Talks TV, Arenberg, who played Pinsel in the first three Pirates of the Caribbean films, explained his reasoning. He stated, "Trust me, this is the best thing you can learn from a pandemic. If you take one thing from this interview, this is it. The garbage man is more important than the movie star, because actors, we don't like to pick stuff up. You see it now, actors are home. We are not essential. We are essential for the work. We are essential for the work we've already done. I'm not a grocery worker. I'm not a nurse. I think sometimes we get too much societal credit. I said before, I give respect to get respect." Boom. Yes. Thank you so much. Wish we had more people working in Hollywood who had that mindset, right? Where it's like, yes, I have a job, and yes, I like my job, and acting is his job, but he also recognizes, yeah, but you know what? There are more important roles out there in society, and I like how he kind of points it out, saying society gives us too important of a role, because once we've done our job, that's it. Once the movie is done, okay, we've done our due diligence, and then we wait for the next project. And then during a pandemic, especially, when everything is getting shut down, but people are still working as nurses, people are still working at the grocery stores, and guess what? Trash has still got to get picked up. Those people have shown themselves to be much more essential in the grand scheme of things, and I just like how he's kind of putting it in this way where it's like, no, we're a lot more equal in a lot of people's, a lot of times people think that movie stars, people that are in the movies in general, are somewhere up here, and anyone else has to be down here. And he says, in reality, no, we're just two different people doing two different jobs, and you start to realize, but you know what, in the day-to-day stuff, some people are more essential than others. I think it's a very, some might say self-deprecating, but I think it's just more of a humble approach to a profession and a humble approach especially to acting in general. Arenberg then provided an example from his time on set with Pirates of the Caribbean. Be on Pirates or something. You'd be on this island. You think you're some badass Hollywood dude, and the guy that lives down in a shack, he's walking down the street with a machete. He looks at a tree. He climbs up. He goes over to this other thing. Best lunch you've ever seen. He then makes a comparison to Hollywood actors. You think that actor guy is going to be able to climb barefooted a coconut tree and get lunch? The people that say they are this or that, like better than anybody, that's what to rise to fame, that's a trap. Easier said than done, but you're probably going to, no matter who you are, you will make some mistakes on that rise, and learning to own up to them and ask for forgiveness from the universe is a start. Surrender, outcomes. Have some humility about it. Boom! Again, I feel like this guy is just saying all the things that people who have been fans of franchises, who have seen movie stars and directors and writers going after fans and acting like they're so high and mighty. It's just so refreshing to hear this from someone who has actually worked in Hollywood, that has actually worked on a major franchise. And he may not have had the biggest role in Pirates, but let me just tell you this right now. He has one of the most iconic looks, because anyone who's seen those movies will recognize these two characters. And also, I think he has one of the most famous lines, because I cannot tell you how many times I've used the expression, hello, puppet, and using it the way that he's done it. So, yeah, he might have a small role. Yeah, he might not be the biggest actor in the world, but for someone in Hollywood to be saying this stuff in this way just makes me freaking happy. Let's just go keep on into this, because I think that everything he's saying so far is spot on. He then details his own personal experiences when it comes to travel. When I travel, bro, the fact that this guy uses bro, I love it. If I'm lucky enough to get a first class ticket, I always go. The higher power goes into first class. I'm going to be in coach where I belong, and I practice gratitude. That's the real key. Arenberg later states, everyone is going to make mistakes. It's all how you bounce back. The road to fame is not all it's cracked up to be. Yes, thank you so much for that, because I think we see this happen a lot, where people think, oh man, a movie star is going to be so fantastic. And I think there's a lot of truth to that. But I think that because he's so grounded, he's seen what fame has done to people. He's seen how so many actors and actresses out there think they're so much better than everyone else. They have they don't have a sense of humility. And I think he looks at it, he says, wait a minute, I'm looking at this guy climbing a tree and serving up lunch, and I'm like, dude, that's what I'm talking about. That's real work. And I don't think he's trying to say that acting is not a job, right? I think that he's obviously happy in pursuing the career in acting. He enjoys it. And again, I, as someone that has done acting myself throughout my life, doing, just summer theater, it is something that I can thoroughly enjoy too. And there does indeed take an amount of skill in order to portray that. But the fact that he's able to say, yes, this is my job. Yes, I love doing it. However, it's not all it's cracked up to be. I'm not better than anyone else. I am in a position where I'm trying to stay humble. And guess what? Like me and everyone else that's ever lived, we all make mistakes. And the important thing is to recognize those mistakes and, as he says, seek forgiveness. And I think that's something that many people in Hollywood could really learn from. And I'm hoping and praying that more writers and directors, especially looking at you, Rian Johnson, J.J. Abrams, etc., start to learn a little bit of humility, start to learn a little bit of, you know what? I'm not that much better than everyone else. In fact, I'm just like them. And in some cases, I'm not nearly as essential as they are. But what are your thoughts about this? Again, I could have done a lot of other stories talking about today for my daily video, but this one just made me feel better, because it's just really cool to see an actor that I recognize. Am I his biggest fan? Have I seen everything he's ever done? No, but I recognize him. I appreciate the work that he's done, and most especially right now, I appreciate the words he's saying, because he's speaking sensibly and he's speaking with common sense, which is so rare in today's modern day Hollywood, especially when you have stars all across the world recording themselves singing communist songs, and among so many other things, just being completely out of touch with reality. I think this is very important to see. So let me know your thoughts about this and everything we talked about in the comment section below. If you like this video, smash that like button, hit that subscribe. It helps out a lot. You're all amazing and beautiful people. Have a wonderful day. And as always, God bless. And now a huge shout out to my May Patreon and Subscribe Star members: Albertus Magnus, Animation Commentator Brian P., Dion, Divex, Enrique Evangelista, Father Christopher Miller, hail to you, Father, Frank the Tank and the Shawhan Weeder Dog Clan, Harold Francis, the Hunker Chunker Funker Monkey, Inflamed Wood, It's a Trap Productions, Jason Clark, Jeffrey Toon, Kenneth Camiel, Lady T, Laura Story, Mad Mitch Dunaway, Mike Jackson, Mr. Peabody and his evil twin with the beautiful hair, Orange Hat Reviews, Outpost Dyer, Out of Step with Reality, Riff Magos, Rosetta Allen, Steve Glasker, Teresa Martin, Theodore Bendon, Tina Bojan, The DJD Show, and Tina B. Thank you all for being my Patreon members, and a shout out to my Subscribe Star peeps, John B., Perpetual Punster, Robert Revo, Mr. Roy, Glinzer, G2 Cool 99, Darkstar 57, J. Alex McCarthy Jr., US 888209 Fast, Dean Heiss, Harold Francis, J. Rod the Beer Guru, Nevadon G. Adams, and ZK Man. And a special shout out to David Bobrizik and Edgardo Martinez. I'm going to leave that pause there just in case anyone decides to join for the month of May, because you can indeed join on Patreon or Subscribe Star at any time this month to be eligible for any of the perks. They include access to an exclusive podcast that I do with John, the Flick Pick of John Flickinger's fame, so make sure you go ahead and check that out at the $10 and up level. Also, if you Subscribe Star or Patreon at $5 or up, you have access to exclusive giveaways of 4K movies, digital films, and a bunch of other stuff in between as well. And if anything, you could at least give just anything that you really want to help support the channel, and it would really help me out a lot. It keeps the lights on, makes me able to continue to do this kind of stuff. So anything you possibly give, check out some more information in the description of the Patreon, Subscribe Star, and of course YouTube membership links as well. You guys are all amazing and beautiful people. Have a wonderful day, and as always, God bless.